Hello, people. Welcome to Tiffany Teach Tuesday. Today, I'm going to be discussing HUD home purchases. So, last week we talked about 203K loans and how to get homes in this competitive market. Another way to get a home in a competitive market is to purchase a HUD home. HUD home purchases can be a little challenging if your broker is not familiar with HUD home purchases and your attorney and your lender. Everybody in your transaction really needs to understand how HUD home purchases work to be able to execute it. This is a government sale. So the government sometimes can be a little difficult to go navigate through the process. But I sold many HUD homes, and a lot of my clients have gotten in the $100 down program. They bought a HUD home, and a lot of people have called me about the $100 down program. But you have to identify a HUD home and see if this HUD home qualifies for the $100 down program. And I'm going to show you how to navigate through the HUD process. The first thing is your broker has to be a HUD authorized broker. HUD makes us put in our license, and it's a lot easier now to be a HUD broker than it was before. So everyone is not a HUD broker. You have to actually apply through HUD and become a HUD broker, get a HUD number to be able to submit an application as a HUD broker. Right now, my HUD certificate is expired because I haven't put my new license in. So once I put my new license in, it'll reactivate it. So it takes like 30 seconds. So I'm going to do it after this live so that I can be able to continue to assist my clients in buying HUD homes. I've been selling HUD homes for about 18 years. My first HUD deal was about 18 years ago. So I'm kind of good at it and getting it done. And HUD homes, you actually can buy them below asking price. HUD gives you a lot of assistance in purchasing. HUD homes are great. They are distressed, and a lot of them require 203K. I've actually had clients who pay cash for HUD. Some of my investors buy HUD because some HUD homes can be purchased by investors. They don't have to be owner occupied, but it'll tell you if the home is owner occupied, if it's for charity, or if it's open to all. So when it's open to all, then it means investors can purchase it too. A lot of investors don't like dealing with HUD purchases because, again, it is encumbersome and it takes time and it's a tedious process. But at the end, it's very beneficial and rewarding for individuals who are very limited with their buying power and in this competitive market. So I'm going to show my screen to show you where to go and how it looks. You can actually go to HUDhomestore.com and find you a property. So I'm going to share my screen. Work with me, bear with me, because sharing my screen is not my best suit with this application. So share screen. Give me a second. Share. Here we go. Share. And here is the HUD page. So on this page, it's where you can search for HUD properties. You can find a HUD broker, but you don't need to look anywhere if you're in Illinois, because I can be your HUD broker for you. And you'll go through and put in Illinois. You can put the county. I typically work in Cook County with most of my clients. I have worked in other counties, but Cook County is my preferred county where I'm most proficient in. Then you click the search button. And this is the list of all of HUD properties that are now available for sale. The bids, and it's a bidding process. So everybody submits in a bid for it. And when you submit in that bid, whoever wins the highest bid gets it. And it's a blind bid, so they don't tell you who bid, what, and how much they bid. They used to, but they no longer do that. Tell you what the bid amount the person paid for prior to. So you see a property you want. Here's a property for $92,000. It's new and it's in HUD. They'll click on it, and then it'll give you the property details and information about the property. This here's the first time buyer. Find a HUD broker, but you don't need to do that. That's because I'm a HUD broker and I can help you. Then you put HUD registration bid. This is where I would click in to submit the bid for you, because we have to submit it on your behalf. The bid is an open owner occupant only. That means if you only can live in this bid, be a non-for-profit or government agency in order to purchase this property. It's a daily bid, so every day a bid goes in. So tonight at 11:59, you have to submit your bid. And again, it's a blind bid, so nobody knows what you're bidding. You submit your bid by that time, and then the next morning they'll let us know if they accepted your bid, if they did not accept your bid. So then you have to so once you put in a bid, then this tells you about what's going on with the property, the amenities, the description. These are the addendums and things that you have to sign, which they'll give you when they give you if you accept the bid, they'll give you an electronic copy of that to sign off on. And this is the broker who's listing this property. And I just did a recent deal with him. And that gives you information about the property. He's the person that handles it, the asset manager, which you have to work with to close this deal. HUD has asset managers. Here are pictures of the property. Nice, pretty decent property. Not bad. And if you had a 203K loan, things that are not up to FHA standards for appraisal, you can get those repairs made. So here's a property, $92,000. So I'm going to exit out of that screen and stop sharing. And now you have me back. So now let me give you some caveats about this. So we put the bid in. Once the bid has been put in and it's been accepted, everything is fast paced. Everything is time sensitive, because if you miss the deadlines with HUD, it cancels the entire transaction and your client will lose their earnest money. Okay. So you have exactly 2 days to get the earnest money, the pre-approval, and the contract, over to whoever HUD designated you to send it to. Sometimes it's to go to the listing broker. Sometimes you send to the asset manager. It varies. Also with a HUD deal, your attorney does majority of the work on the transaction. The seller side is not like having a seller on the seller's side, pulls a title and all that. Your attorney does all of that. So that is why it's very imperative that you have an attorney that can do a HUD transaction. I always ask my clients, is your attorney familiar with HUD deals? Because if they're not, it will make this process a nightmare. You can trial and error with them, and I'm okay with that. But understand, it can cause problems if they don't know what they're doing. So now you're doing this HUD process, and you submit the contract. Everything is next day mail because they need it immediately. They do not wait the deal. When they say it has to be there, it has to be there. So you get a 15-day inspection period. During this inspection period is the time when you need to have your 203 consultant to come out, not a home inspection, but a 203 consultant, a person that's going to tell you what the property needs in order for FHA to approve this appraisal value of this property. You have them out. You should have your contractors lined up, because once he gives you back that BOR of what the repairs that need to be done, you give that to your contractor, bring out your contractor. And I recommend you have a minimum of 2, just in case your contractor falls through. You have a backup person to come in and take over the transaction for you, another contractor. Now, you get those bids, you submit those in, and you submit that to your lender. Now, they are processing everything. If for some reason you cannot get financed, if your financing is due, if you're cash with HUD, if you can't come up with the rest of the cash after you prove that you have these funds and now it's time for us to close and you don't have the funding, you can cancel the deal. You're going to lose your money. HUD sets up for cash deals, they set up the closing dates and terms. So cash deals, you have to close in 30 days. That is HUD requirement. We do not make it up. HUD says 30 days, and 30 days it is. And your attorney is going to have to make sure everything is closed within 30 days. If it is a financing, they give you 45 days. 45 days is the time that you have to be done, or you will lose your your earnest money deposit, and 60 days for 203Ks. Now, if for whatever reason you need an extension, HUD does grant extensions, but at your expense. So the first extension is typically waived. They'll waive it for you for the first extension, for an insured lending, 203K, FHA, insured cash. You gonna pay for it, and you may lose your financing. I mean, your earnest money. They may cancel the deal because you're supposed to have the funds. So to do an extension is $150 because it's $10 per day, and you have to do a minimum 15 days extensions. That's all they do. They do only 15 days increments. And if you close it within 15 days, you do not get a refund. You just lose your $15, your $150. That's up to $25,000. That is for $10 a day. If it's over $25,000, up to $50,000, it's $15 per day. And for 15 days, that's $225. If it's over $50,000, it is $25 a day for 15 days, $375. And if you don't, and every time you grant 15 more days, you have to pay for it. Okay. Now, what would allow you to get out of a HUD deal if the financing doesn't work and they can verify that the financing isn't adequate? You can get all of that you do not qualify for the borrowing amount. You can get all of your money back from HUD. However, if the financing is due to you not having the cash to close in this cash deals, you don't get any of your earnest money back. And they set the earnest money. It's like $500 for under 25. $1,000 up to 75, I think. No, $1,000 up to anything over 70, over 50, something like that. It tells you in the contract what your earnest money deposit is required. If you are insured and you can prove that you are not eligible for the borrowing process, they'll give you back 50% of it. If you're uninsured person, and they'll give you back 50%. If you are insured and you can prove that somebody died, that's in your immediate, everything that happens now, I'm talking about, it has to be within the immediate family, and they have to live in your household. So your child gets sick, you get ill, you're the major breadwinner, it changes your income. Someone dies, or they can prove that you are not a qualified buyer after the pre-approval process and you've done an application. And say, for instance, you looked at the home, your consultant came out and he realized the amount of the repair exceeds your loan amount to make it FHA approved, then they'll cancel the deal and give you back your funds. So the lenders, so the $100 down program is through HUD. So the $100 down program is added on to purchasing the property, but the property has to be proved valid as a $100 down program. And your lender can help you with that to find out if that property is qualified for $100 down. Now, what it does is saying, instead of you putting down your typical 3.5%, you will only have to put $100 down. In order for to qualify for any FHA lending, you have to have a minimum of a 500 credit score. But to qualify for the 3.5% down, they'll go as low as 580s. But typical lenders require that you have at least a 620 credit score or better to receive 3.5% down payment and be a part of these programs that are available to you. So it's imperative that you work on your financing. Work on your credit scores, because the better your credit score, the better financing you'll receive in interest rates, and the likability of you being a part of more being able to receive more programs. Now, I have two preferred 203K lenders. They are both good. I've worked with both of them before, and that is important because your lender is the person that has to make this process roll. Timothy Lee with Home Depot, if you saw my relaunch, his information is there. And then Natasha Robinson with Guarantee Rate. She's the first one to introduce me to the home $100 down program. But majority of the lenders offer it because if it's offered through HUD, they'll give it to you. So I hope that this helps someone be more encouraged to step out and buy a distressed property and get in the neighborhood that you want and come in with some equity in your home and making your home the way that you want it to be versus based on what some of our investors think you want it to be. And this may not be for everyone, but for those that are interested, you can feel free to give our office a call, 773-568-1138, and I'll link you with someone or myself that can help you purchase your first HUD property. Thank you for always tuning in to Tiffany Teach Tuesday, and I'll see you next week Tuesday.